The pounding on my garage door sounded like a battering ram. Patricia Dalton, our HOA president, stood outside screaming about a stolen car while her smug son grinned behind her. She thought the police were on their way to take me down. What she didn't know, I was the police. I still remember the first morning I pulled into Riverside Heights. The sun was warm, the streets were spotless, and for the first time in 20 years, I wasn't walking into another cramped apartment. I'd finally bought a house, a modest 3-bedroom with a 2-car garage. It wasn't about size or luxury. It was about freedom, space, and one very important thing: a safe home for my pride and joy. Sitting in that garage was a piece of my soul. A 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 in grabber blue. My late father and I spent 5 years restoring every bolt, every panel, every detail until it was flawless. That car wasn't just a machine. It was the last project we ever shared before cancer took him away. Every time I turned the key, I felt his presence riding beside me. Of course, not everyone in the neighborhood saw it that way. 4 houses down lived Patricia Dalton, the HOA president. The first time she introduced herself, she handed me a 3-inch binder of rules, thicker than any police report I'd ever filed. She didn't see a neighbor in me. She saw another subject for her little kingdom. The trouble started the second week. I was in the garage polishing chrome when I heard footsteps. Patricia's 17-year-old son, Tyler, strutted up my driveway in designer sneakers like he owned the place. "Sweet ride," he said, running his hand along the fender. I moved his hand away gently. "V8 429 Cobra Jet. Just finished waxing that spot." His eyes lit up with entitlement. "You should let me take it for a spin. I got my license last month. I'm a great driver." I almost laughed. A kid with 1 month of driving experience behind the wheel of 400 horsepower? Not a chance. "Sorry, son. This car doesn't leave the garage unless I'm driving it." Tyler's smile twisted. "My dad pays a lot in HOA fees." "Like a lot? That means we basically own part of this street. So technically, I kinda own your car too." The logic was so backwards I had to pause. "That's not how property works." "We'll see about that," he muttered, storming off. 20 minutes later, Patricia appeared on my porch. White pants, blazer, HOA pin, and heels clicking like weapons. "My son tells me you were rude to him," she snapped. "In this neighborhood, we share. When a young man shows interest, it's only neighborly to accommodate him. It's a vintage muscle car worth more than some homes. No one drives it but me." Her lips tightened. "We'll see if it complies with HOA rules." She meant it. Within days, envelopes started arriving. Violation notices claiming my Mustang was too loud, too bright, even commercial, because it could be used for racing. Each time, I calmly replied with the HOA bylaws proving her wrong. Each time, she got angrier. The following Saturday, Tyler came back with 2 friends. They swaggered up while I was mowing the lawn. "Hey, Mr. Morrison," Tyler called. "Fake friendly? Changed your mind about letting me drive? Maybe just a quick ride around the block?" The answer's still no. One of his friends, a bulky kid in a football jersey, stepped forward. "Come on, man. Don't be such a hard-ass." I dropped my voice to what my officers call my chief voice. "You boys need to head home. Now." They left, but Tyler shot me a glare that promised trouble. Sure enough, Patricia came storming back later with her husband, Richard, trailing behind. "You threatened my son," she shrieked. "Richard's a lawyer. We could sue for emotional distress." Richard winced but said nothing. "I asked them to leave my property," I replied evenly. "That's my right." Patricia's eyes burned. "We'll see what the HOA board thinks." Neighbors later told me she spent 40 minutes at the next meeting ranting about me with a PowerPoint on street racing culture. She actually used the word hooligan. And this was only the beginning. 3 weeks in, things boiled over. I was sipping coffee when I heard voices in my driveway. Tyler and his friends were pressed against the garage window, taking selfies with my car. I stepped outside. "Get off my property. Now." "It's just pictures, bro," Tyler sneered. "For Instagram. My followers love sick rides." "Out. Now." His face flushed. You don't deserve that car. You're too old to even drive it right. That Mustang should be mine. Tyler, I warned, voice sharp. Leave before I call the police. He laughed. My mom already did. She said you stole it. I froze. Patricia had apparently checked the registration and discovered the car was still in my late father's name. I'd been meaning to update the paperwork but hadn't yet. Yeah, Tyler smirked. Mom says the cops are gonna impound it. Then someone who deserves it, like me, can buy it at auction. That's when I heard it. Sirens. 3 patrol cars screaming down the street. Patricia stepped outside, phone in hand, looking triumphant. There he is, she shouted, pointing at me. That's the thief. She thought she had me cornered, but she had no idea who I really was. I recognized the officers immediately. Martinez and Davidson from the day shift, followed by Thompson and Rookie Patel. Martinez stepped out first, eyes widening. Chief Morrison? I smiled casually. Morning, Martinez. Beautiful day, isn't it? Patricia's jaw dropped. Chief? What do you mean, Chief? Davidson kept his face straight. Ma'am, this is Chief Morrison. He's our boss. The chief of police for the entire city. Color drained from Patricia's face. Tyler suddenly found his shoes fascinating. Richard looked like he wanted to sink into the pavement. But the registration, Patricia stammered. The car belonged to my father, I explained calmly. He passed 6 months ago. I inherited it but haven't transferred the title yet. Would you like to see the will and death certificate? Patricia's voice cracked. I didn't know. I turned to Martinez. Please take a full report. This woman called 911 with a false stolen vehicle claim. She's been harassing me for weeks because I wouldn't let her son drive my car. Yes, sir. Martinez pulled out his notepad. Thompson's body cam caught Tyler blurting. Yeah, so what? He's been a dick since he moved in. My mom runs this neighborhood. Patel raised his brows but kept filming. By now, neighbors filled the sidewalks, whispering and recording on their phones. Patricia was cited for filing a false report. Tyler was warned for trespassing. The entire spectacle, caught on camera, was only the beginning of her downfall. The body cam footage hit public records within days. Someone leaked it online and it went viral. Entitled HOA President Calls Cops on Police Chief racked up millions of views. Tyler's rant about his parents buying and selling people became a meme. At the emergency HOA meeting, Patricia tried to keep control, but her power was gone. Neighbors who'd been silent for years stood up one by one with their own horror stories of her petty fines and bullying. The vote was unanimous. Patricia was removed as president immediately. She stormed out in tears, hissing at Richard about lawsuits. He stayed behind to apologize, finally admitting they'd be putting their house on the market. For the first time since moving in, Riverside Heights felt like a neighborhood again, not Patricia's kingdom. It didn't end there. Patricia faced a $1,000 fine and 50 hours of community service. In court, the judge looked unimpressed. You admitted to checking the registration and still called 911, he said. That's not concern. That's malicious intent. With court costs, Patricia paid nearly $8,000. She left humiliated, her reputation destroyed. The woman who ruled the HOA with an iron fist was finally toppled by her own entitlement and her son's greed. In the end, justice wasn't about my badge, it was about standing firm against bullies. Patricia lost everything because she couldn't stand being told no. Entitlement always collapses under its own weight. And that Mustang? It's still mine. A reminder that truth always wins in the end.